Alright guys, I wanted to make this video because there are some things I would like to discuss regarding Stalker 2 and its development. First, we're going to look this trailer. This is the latest trailer. It was shown at the Gamescom 2023 just a week ago. Many people has been complaining, saying that the game looks downgraded. As you can see, the game has lots of dislikes. As far as I'm concerned, the game doesn't look as downgraded as people want to make it seem. People is being a little bit dramatic unnecessarily. They are not thinking about how hard the developers have been, what hard difficulties that the developers have been dealing with all of this conflict with Ukraine and Russia. They had to move their studio. I think they moved to Prague. Yeah, they moved their studio to Prague. And I mean, there are some things on the trailer that I would agree with some people, that I think those are kind of downgraded. I think, for example, the foliage, vegetation, the trees, the grass, but I mean the shadows looks great. The reflections, the animations, the positioning of all of these details, it looks like a game with personality. It looks like Stalker to me. The animations again, something I would like to see improved maybe is the smoke out of the weapon, of the barrel when you shoot. This smoke doesn't look very realistic, but that's a minor issue, I think. I would like to see new enemies. I would like to see new creatures, new mutants, new factions. I don't think they will show those here because that could be like spoilers. So they better save up those for when the game releases and you discover those by your own, and it comes as a surprise when you encounter a new mutant or a new faction and stuff. As far as graphics concerns, I think the graphics are great. It looks great to me. Again, the grass doesn't look as good, as sharp as it looked in the first trailer. But this shot right here, this looks impressive. It looks like Stalker. And many people it's failing to recognize that. You see here, I think this is an emission going on. It looks good to me. Again, the trees, not as good. The smoke out of the barrel of the weapon, not as good as you see. It could be improved. That smoke doesn't look as clean. But you see here, when you're walking, when the character is walking out of the sewer, it's very nice actually, the reflections on these little ponds right here. The scenery, the colors, the Makarov, and here you have some kind of AK, and this is some kind of AR rifle. This is like an AR rifle as well with an holographic sight. This anomaly looks very nice, and this is a new anomaly. This is something we haven't seen before. And those details here, these racks on the floor, the wood, this I think it's like hay or dirt maybe, but these little details make it seem like you're actually in a post-apocalyptic world. Here, all of this paper, all of these documents scattered around, the walls all damaged and corroded. The animation when you throw the ball, the reload animation of the toss here. I think this is the toss. I'm not quite sure. Maybe no. I think it's called Olympia, but in Modern Warfare. I don't recall the name in Stalker. Sorry. And here you have more details. You see the shadows look great. The photorealistic like component is there. I don't see any downgrade here, honestly. I see a game that looks great here as well. You can see many details. You have an USB, you're attaching the silencer, the suppressor. I think you will have to do that manually. It's not like you drag the suppressor and drop it on top of the weapon on the inventory and magically the silencer will pop up. You will have to actually see the animation when you are attaching the attachments to the weapon, be it a sight, being a grenade launcher, being a suppressor in this case, I think. And the USB has always been one of my favorite guns ever. I think it's a very good looking pistol, and here is no different. Here the USB looks beautiful, and this dark place, this building, this location looks great to me. The Makarov looks cool as well. This building, this house being all destroyed, it looks great too. Again, the illumination, the shadows, the reflections, the lighting, all of that, this effect looks very, very well to me. It looks cool. Here is where you can see some kind of downgrade, and you can see it on the textures on the clothing of the character, on the textures of the dog, on the foliage and vegetation. But I think this can be improved. This is not the worst we have seen on a trailer. This is, I mean, people have been very harsh with GSC Game World, and I wish people were as harsh with other gaming companies, with other developers such as Ubisoft or EA, when they launch stuff that is just scam. They literally scam gamers, and they are not as harsh with them. But a tiny company from Ukraine that's dealing with war, with casualties within their development team, they are the ones getting the hate, and I don't think that's very fair. We should be more... We should appreciate that this game is coming out in the first place with all of the shit GSC Game World has gone through so far. So yeah, guys, this is just a few things that I wanted to point out. The game looks great to me. All of this hate, I think, is just not realistic. All of these dislikes on the GameSpot channel, this video has 6,000 dislikes. On the GSC Game World channel, it has almost 9,000 dislikes. So people has been very, very hard with them. And for me, it looks great. It looks cool. It's not perfect. It can be improved. It can be... it can get better. They delayed the game. I think it was the right decision. But I hope this is not the case of some developers, that they delay the games over and over again, and the game turns out to be shit, because they should have delayed the game years, not months, but years. But because they wanted to release the game anyways, the game released on a bad condition. It releases incomplete, and people pay for the product that they expected to be completed, and that's such a disrespectful thing to do to customers. It should be illegal. I have always said that. The Callisto Protocol did that. That game would have been better with at least 3 more years in development, but they rushed the development and the release date, and we got what we got, a game that will not be remembered. But I'm not seeing that here. Here you can notice some frame drops, maybe some parts where you get less frames per second. I hope the game releases in a good state. That's the minimum they should do if they're going to charge people almost $60 for these games. So I'm not going to pre-order anything and never again. I'm going to wait for some reviews and then I'm going to decide if the product is worth my money or not. Until then, again, I think it looks great. It's not perfect, but people has been more rude than it was necessary with GSE Game World. And I guess that this is because people is getting tired of these games launching in a disrespectful condition and scamming people all over the world. Literally, these games releasing incomplete like Golem, those are scams. People has been pretty hyped up by Schofield, no, Starfield. Sorry, Schofield. Starfield by Bethesda. Uh, I'm not. I'm not hype. I think that game is not going to live up to the hype. Star Citizen is a game that I tried because a friend shared with me his account, so I tried. I tried for a few minutes. I didn't like it. Liked it. It has many bugs. The performance was not great, and I have a 4070 Ti. Even on a 4070 Ti at 1080p, I think that the performance should have been better, but it wasn't. So I'm not hyped for Star Citizen, I'm not hyped for Starfield, and I'm not hyped for Stalker 2. I advise people not to be hyped over none of these games anymore and wait for reviews before they decide to buy. Don't pre-order, wait for the reviews, and then you decide. You have to vote with your wallet, because we cannot continue to tolerate these scams like Gollum or like the Callisto Protocol or like Grand Theft Auto, the Definitive Trilogy, etc., etc. Tons of games that have been releasing on a deplorable state, and people have been paying their hard-earned money for those, and it's just not acceptable. So all of this hate to GSE Game World, I think, is just a side effect of that. People being tired of all of this nonsense. So I think it's good, but you have to remember, they are not a big AAA company. They are still a little company, and all of the games they have released so far, if not perfect, they have been good games. They have been consistent. Those have been enjoyable experiences, not scamming people, not bullshit. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share. I hope you liked it. Yeah, and if you did, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. I know my English is not perfect, but I'm trying to improve, and keep it respectful in the comment section. Goodbye.